Hi, it's John Winter. I'm excited about this assignment and the opportunity that we get to put faces to the names that we're seeing each week in our assignments, and kind of looking forward to what we will be experiencing when we graduate in goodness knows how many years from now. I won't talk about all four videos. The two in the middle, I think, which are about inviting and reflecting feelings, have elements in the first and fourth as well. So I'll talk about the first and fourth videos. Right from the beginning, I really enjoyed the counselor that is in, I think, featured in 3 of the 4 videos that we watched. His nonverbal skills is sort of inviting into a conversation, really warming. Right from the beginning, you feel like every time you see him that it's a privilege for him to listen to the client, and I think the client gets that impression from him. And his style is gentle, almost hesitant in a way, as he talks to the client, and not producing answers right away, and not coming across as if he knows everything, but really he seems to be contemplating what the speaker is saying. Such an important thing when you're sharing your heart. So the client is talking about difficulties with her boyfriend, and she's describing attempts to enter his world. And I noticed something when she describes going to the restaurant, and then she says, and sometimes I just leave, and leaves that kind of hanging in the air there, as if that's perhaps something that should shock the counselor. And the camera actually switches to his face right at that moment, which maybe is purposeful, and just really shows there's no reaction. And it highlighted to me the necessity. We'll be hearing lots of things as counselors that should shock us, and yet we can't. For the sake of the client and the continued relationship with the client, we can't react visibly in shock to what the client is saying. After that time in that first session, the counselor doesn't really get her to explore any more detail. I might have asked her, well, did you talk to your boyfriend before you left? What did he say? He doesn't go there, which I found very interesting. And then he says, maybe you're angry at yourself, he says to the client. At first I thought, what? That sounds like sort of psychological mumbo jumbo. Then I went back. I had the ability to go back in the video, and where did that come from? And right at the beginning, she says, I'm having a hard time adjusting. And which is, you can see it's a clue to him that she's angry at herself. She's blaming herself for some of what's happening with her boyfriend. Well, I thought, wow, that's so insightful. Would I be able to do that? Probably not yet. In the last video of the 4, a bit more of a complex situation, it feels like. You see the client sort of wandering through, and maybe in some cases not being willing to really talk deeply about what he's feeling. And the counselor brings out the aspect of anger, and you watch as the client is surprised by what the counselor has revealed. And in fact, the counselor is really just reflecting meaning, the meaning of what he's been saying, what the client has been saying. And so he picks up on these feelings of anger and the feeling of responsibility. And as the client talks and he draws out the client, he gets to the point of culture. Now, I'm a Canadian, not an American, and actually probably not as exposed to Hispanic culture as the counselor would be. And yet he doesn't presume to suggest that culture is playing a role. He asks that and takes a position of a learner. I thought that was very good. And comes to, in a fairly short time, something really valuable, and that is this balancing that is going on. And And it makes sense of sort of the wandering through the story that the client has been doing. When the counselor talks about he's trying to balance both the family, what's so important to him, family, and yet he's got his own life too as well. And if you're like me and you signed up for counseling because you really love what this is all about, you probably wish that you could hear more about how that was unpacked. The question was this what I expected? Well, over the last year, I've been on the receiving end of some counseling, so probably it is what I would expect to see. But it was great in all the academic stuff that we've been doing to be reminded about what I'm really passionate about. I look forward to meeting you, in a sense, through all your video blogs.